Jai Mata Kali, Jai Mata Durge, Jai Mata Kali, Jai Mata Durge, Kali Durge, Namo Namah, Kali Durge, Namo Namah, Kali Durge, Namo Namah, Kali Durge, Namo Namah, Kali Durge, Namo Namah. Good evening. It's been few weeks since last time I opened this live streaming in English, trying to give updates about what's going on with master calves in Cunha, what's going on with master animals here at our sanctuary, and also about our projects. And in these past few weeks, we have plenty of news, plenty of updates, plenty of fights in the sense of fighting for goodness to prevail, fighting for hope to prevail, fighting for justice to prevail. So I believe every single being incarnated right now is facing some sort of challenge. It's not just about master animals, it's not just about humans, it's not just about the forests, it's just about everyone. And what it tells us is that we need to be compassionate, because it's not just one of us who is suffering. All of us, in one way or the other, we are suffering. And if we can go through this together, if we can nourish each other, help each other, I think the whole path, the whole journey will be a little bit easier, even though that we know that it's tough, that it is hard, and we cannot change that. But we can make it easier. Again, even that it's tough, even though that it is hard, we can make it a little bit better, just being there for one another. And again, being there for one another, it doesn't only talk about humans, it talks about every single being incarnated right now. If we are talking about climate change, we can feel how much pain the forests are going through. If we talk about climate change from another perspective, we can feel how much water, and thinking of this element as a goddess, as we have Indians talk about this, Indians or Hindus talk about this as well. So if we talk about climate change, we can look at Mother Nature and see that she's suffering. If we talk about master animals, we can see that because of our lifestyle, they are suffering. If we talk about humans, even though that we are causing pain to other species and other beings, it doesn't mean that, yes, we are causing pain, but we are happy. We are causing pain and we are suffering as well. And we are suffering also in consequence of what we are doing. Not because we are being punished, but just because things we do come back to us. It's just the way it is. If we go through logics to conclude this, we are going to get at this conclusion. If we use physics, we are going to get to this conclusion as well. So I'm here just to give you some updates about what's going on, because again, I know I've been saying this over and over again every time that I open a live streaming in English. We have almost 50% of our public from overseas. And I really appreciate each one of you guys outside Brazil following this service, following this attempt to bring some sort of consciousness, to bring some sort of compassion to our hearts. Because we humans, we need to change. And this is what I'm trying to do here every time that I open a live streaming. So what's been going on? About a few weeks ago, I remember I opened a live streaming talking about this. We had a court decision, and since then, we have been granted the custody of over 300 master calves. They are in another town. They do not have enough health. They are not healthy enough to come to our sanctuary. So we need to give them more food. We need to give them special care. We need to give them everything that they need so they can come here in few months. So where are they right now? We rented a farm in this town, and it's about, I would say, 300 miles away from here, or 200 and something actually, 200 and something miles away from here. And we're going to wait for winter to go away so we can bring them. Perhaps few of them can come earlier, but really our plan is to bring all of them together. And meanwhile, they are being taken care by our team there. So right now we have two operations. We have one operation here in this city and another operation there. Ever since it started, a lot of different special needs came into place, and not something that we needed to think about if it was just like, okay, it's urgent. They need this type of food. They need this special care. And now we need a tractor because it's literally tons of food every day. And we do not have manpower to give them food every single day, twice a day, by human hands. So we need a tractor. If you want to help, I ask you to go and download an app called A Billion, and you can write reviews, vegan reviews, and then the app will give you $1. And you can give this $1 to our sanctuary, or you can give to another sanctuary. Either way, if you are helping the cause, I'm happy. If you are helping the world to change, I'm thankful. I think what we cannot do is just not do anything, just sit and complain. And sometimes we need to really be careful, because sometimes life gets too tough. And again, we are going through a phase, we're going through times that things are very difficult. And it's tempting just to sit and say, okay, this is too bad because this person, because this word, and we start complaining, and we don't do anything. So again, if you wanted to help our sanctuary through A Billion, we are very grateful. You can again download the app, write a vegan review, and then choose our sanctuary to donate this $1 that the app will give to you. It's not something that you are going to get out of your pocket. It's something that the app will give away. If you wanted to give this to our sanctuary because of everything that's going on right now, this tractor here in Brazil, it costs around $10,000. So we need 10,000 reviews to bring this necessity, to make this dream come true. Because again, it's just way too much human power to give food to them twice a day. So we need a tractor. If you wanted to give away something even via PayPal, we are very grateful. But again, if you do not have this calling in your heart, just help somebody else. Because at this point in the world, we need to help one another. I'm sure that there are people all around the world trying to do something better for every single being. Some people are working with children, some people are working with master animals, other people are working with forests, other people are working with just help. Just help. And if you do not want to give the money, just give your time, just send prayers, and just be connected. Because it's not time just to sit and complain. Things are very tough. The world is coming to an end as far as resources, as far as forests, as far as so much more. And we cannot just say, okay, I'm very sad with everything that is going on. I'm depressed. I'm sitting here and I'm complaining. This is not going to help. So just do something. So this is pretty much what's going on in Cunha right now with this over 300 master calves. Then perhaps you say, okay, but then where they are going to be when they go to the sanctuary? I mean, how much land does the sanctuary have to accommodate over 300 besides the 140 that we have already here? So for this, we are going to get a new land, and this new land will be paid by courses that we are going to provide. So if you have the calling to be here, Now the time has come. And we are very glad to invite you here, because with all of this, something really got into my heart is that we need to educate people, we need to raise awareness, we need to bring people to understand what's going on. And sometimes when you are, I don't know, in a big town or at your place or on the computer, you don't realize that water is coming to an end. You don't realize that master animals are suffering. You don't even care or don't even think about another human that can be going through some sort of pain that you could help. But if we take the time to talk about this, if we open here experiences, programs that can talk about this. So this idea, this project, it has two ways of working. One of them is that we are going to welcome here children from schools nearby. And they're going to have a 1-day journey or 2 days journey. We're going to do this with them so they can realize that what they are eating is not something that is sitting on a shelf on the supermarket. It was alive before. And it had love, in the sense of bound, in the sense of creating connections among beings, the same way that I have a connection with my sister. Just today, I'm going to place on our stories a little bit later, we have a master cow here who was rescued. Actually, she rescued herself. She was going to be slaughtered in a slaughterhouse close here to the sanctuary, and she ran away to our sanctuary. She gave birth here, and long story made short, she's here to these days. She has this baby. She had her baby here at the sanctuary, as I said, about 2 years ago, and today in the pasture she was still nursing her baby, almost 2 years. What I'm trying to say with this is that they have bonds, they have connections among them, the same way that we do. And sometimes when we talk about children don't realize. Children don't think that what they are eating causes so much pain to master animals, especially because children are very innocent and pure. And if they had a dream that they were causing this sort of pain, they would deny that kind of food at that same time. So this is part of the journey that we are taking right now, because again, we need to raise awareness, and at the same time, our expenses were, I'm just trying to calculate this in dollars right now. It was about $20,000 every month. Right now, we are going to almost 40. So we need to make sure we raise awareness, and we need to make sure that these that are here have dignity, that they live well, that they have food, that they have infrastructure. So we are putting this all together. Because again, we cannot just go and trying to save one victim after the other. It's just, we're going to save them all when we all realize that it's about our lifestyles, that it's about how we raise our children, that it's about how we live our day-to-day life. So we cannot just say, okay, I just wanted to work with master animals because I'm going to say this, I just don't like humans. Okay, we're going to have to get over this, because we need to work with humans. So this is how it's happening. So I talked about children, how this project will work with children. But now I'm talking about adults, and why? Because if children change, and yes, they have so much power to influence their homes and their houses and their families and their friends, but still we need to have adults that can accommodate these new thoughts from them. We need to have adults to give good example. We need to have adults around them and around us telling that it is possible to get protein, for instance, from a plant-based diet, that we can be more compassionate, that we can follow our hearts when our hearts say, okay, don't kill anyone just because you are feeling like eating this or that. But we need examples, and we need to train people to cook, and we need to provide this sort of education. So, and very very important to realize is not just about knowledge that we get about the world or about an object, but knowledge we get about ourselves. We need to understand why we do things. We need to understand why we give up things that are important to us and to others. We need to understand why we do things that do not have anything to do with the world that we want to create. So self-knowledge is very important, because at that time that I change, I influence others to change. So when we're talking about educating here, we are not just talking about raising awareness. And yes, we are doing this every single time that we have a rescue, every single time that we have an opportunity, but we are also talking about being good, and being good for every single being. And it means that we need to practice this with humans as well. And this means patience, and this means tolerance, and this means, look at what's going on right now. How many wars we have around the world? Not just one. We have many wars. And how many we have, how many of these wars have to do with the wars that we don't fight inside of us? Does it make sense? So I don't fight my own war inside of me. So I let rage take over me. I let anything that is not good to take over me. And how does it go to the world? Creating a war, because I didn't fight this war inside of me. Does it make sense? So we need to become better human beings, and we need to practice what we know. So again, here, when they come, they will go to a new land. This new land will have this educational, and I'm not sure if this is the pronunciation, so just use your imagination. We are going to have these programs to educate people and have this partnership with schools. All of this are taking place right now. So needless to say, we're quite busy. And I must say after this statement that I thank God, Goddess, I thank the angels, I thank every single being for being busy. Because can you imagine, with everything that's going on in our planet right now, can you imagine every single pain and suffering that we know that is happening somewhere in the world right now? Can you imagine just sitting around and saying, okay, I wanted to get vacations, or I wanted to rest, or I wanted to watch a movie, and nothing wrong with all of this. But what I'm saying is this: we need to make room in our lives to accommodate the needs of the world we live today. Because this world will only change again when we change. And besides our change, we need to work on this world to change. And this work on this world to change, I would like to put in other words. I would like to say that this work for this world to change is actually a service. So it's not something that I'm working and I'm getting a payment because I'm working for the world to change. I'm not gaining anything from this world. I'm gaining a sort of satisfaction that doesn't come from this world. A sort of satisfaction that comes from my own heart and from my own consciousness, because I'm doing the right thing. I am not seeing injustice and saying, okay, I will just pretend I didn't see. I'm not looking at suffering and say I'm not strong enough to see blood, so I don't even talk about this. Again, it's just a matter, okay, the world will change when we change. And the world will change when we work on this world to change. But not because we are being recognized or because we are being paid or because we are going to get some benefit out of it. The only benefit we get out of this is some sort of peace of mind, that we are doing what we can. And you can say, okay, I try to do this, but I get frustrated because nothing changes, or I wanted things to change faster. Okay, if we give up, they will change even slower. So we need to cope with this speed, even though that is not as fast as we want. Because if we give up, it's just going to be slower and slower. And what does it mean to forests? And what does it mean to master animals? What does it mean to human consciousness and evolution? It means that somebody will suffer. So I would say that we do not have this option of getting frustrated again and just sitting around and just complaining. We need to do something more about this. So this is our plan, and we are asking support for this plan because it's a pretty big project. We are going to have a house that is kind of a hostel, I would say, inside of our sanctuary. And people cannot just stay there when they want, but they can come if we are running some special program that has to do with self-knowledge, that has to do with raising awareness, that has to do with children. And if you want, after you come once and you say, I wanted to work with children, I want to be there, I want to help some other way, we are going to open up some positions for people to help these occasions to happen. So we are going to support, to hold space for this to happen. This is something that we are going to open up a little bit later. So this is the plan again. And how could we have possibly think about all of this, thought about all of these things? Because we had this court decision saying that we have to look after over 300 besides the ones that we have here. And at that point, I asked my heart and say, okay, if we just sleep a little bit, sleep meaning like, okay, let's not think about this right now. We are going only to work to provide for this almost 500. And 500, it's very important. Their life is very important for them, of course. But we are talking about billions every single year. So we cannot just say, okay, that's fine. Oh, of course, it's just wonderful that now this sanctuary, almost 500 lives protected. Of course, it's wonderful for each one of these 500, almost 500 protected here. But what does this number mean to 8 billions per year? What does it mean? It's almost nothing. So what can we need to do something. Okay, let's educate people. Let's raise awareness. Let's work with children. Let's make this connection. Because again, when we are at the computer, we are in a big town, we don't realize what's going on with Mother Nature. We don't realize what's going on with water. We don't see their eyes. We don't see their suffering. We don't feel their hearts. And we need to provide this, because when we do, when we provide this experience, the experience itself teaches the one going through that same experience. It doesn't matter that we say something or say other thing. That person right there is learning something from what she or he is being touched by. It's just like colliding two words. It's just like, okay, I'm not going to be the same. Something changed. And this is what we want. We want change. And to change things, we need to work with humans. So this is basically what's going on right now. And again, we ask for support. You have this option to support us via this application called A Billion. You just write reviews, and then this app will donate $1 to you, and you can donate to our sanctuary or other sanctuaries. And again, I say, just help somebody. Just help somebody. Help someone in the world. And if you do not have the time, if you do not have the money, you can sit and pray. You can become a better human being. You can work on something regarding your lifestyle that can prevent victims outside your home. You can look at yourself and realize what part of you needs to be changed. There are many, many ways to contribute. There are many ways to donate. There are many ways to support goodness. But we need to overcome our own war. We need to win over laziness. We need to win over frustration. We need to win over every single aspect that does not serve light. And then the world will change. So I invite you to be part of this. Just know that probably we are going to open the first program will be a yoga program, because I'm a yoga teacher. So I'm going, ever since the pandemic started, we didn't do anything like courses and all of these experiences. And now they are coming back again, but a little bit bigger, a little bit more, with more strength. with more people, with more volunteers, with a team more focused on ending and alleviating suffering. So you're welcome. The first program, will be this yoga course that will last 10 months. And people, again, will have the opportunity to sleep over and stay here for the whole weekend. Besides this one, we are going to open retreats, special retreats, meditation retreats, self-knowledge retreats, mindfulness retreats, kindfulness retreats. We are going to open all of this with partners as well, so you're welcome to come. And this hostel inside the property will always be open for you if we have a program running at that time. And when you come, if you like what you see, the experience and all of this, we invite you to be part of our team. We invite you to support this and expand this service. What we are talking here is not something that one human can do or two humans can do. It's about getting together. It's about focusing on what matters. It's about a group of people. It's about overcoming our shortcomings, whatever they may be, to serve. And this is something I will emphasize, service. If you're not happy right now with your life, probably you're paying too much attention on yourself. And I'm not saying that you do not need to deal with your whatever you have to pay or to live by, or your rent or whatever. But what I'm saying is that there are many beings waiting for you. And if you get lost in your own drama, if we get lost in our own drama, we cannot help others. So if you're feeling very unhappy, you are just nourishing yourself. If you're feeling unhappy, you are nourishing your own sadness. You are contributing to your own depression. I humbly ask you to just think about this. And try, after this exercise, to pay attention to some other being. And then comes a kind of magic. Because when you start to want to make others happy, you start to open up to a sort of happiness that doesn't belong to the things of this world. It doesn't belong to your pleasures. This kind of happiness and joy, it doesn't belong to something related just to myself. It's just about the other. So again, if you're pretty unhappy right now, unsatisfied, if you do not know where to go with your life, just serve. Make your life of use to other beings. Make yourself available to other peoples and beings and master animals and master trees. Make yourself available to them to ease their pain. And sometimes it's just a matter of being there, of listening to them, of saying everything is going to be all right. Even if things don't go right, but just saying that from inside out, we can call them all right. Because we are going to be hand in hand, because we are going to be together. So again, do not pay too much attention in yourself. Let's try to not pay too much attention in ourselves. Let's try to serve. Let's try to make our lives a vehicle for somebody else's happiness. And then I believe not just the world will be changed, but we will change as well. But the trick thing is, I don't think we will change in the sense of becoming somebody that we are not. I think if we do this, if we really take the time to do this day after day, we are going to let go the ones that we thought we were, but never been. So the competitive self, the one that doesn't care, the one that we thought we were again. And then we're just like, I'm not this person. Because in my heart, I believe that each one of us, we're good people, we are good beings. And we just let go all these illusions that we bought from this world, saying that we needed to just pay attention to ourselves, just to be selfish. So it's not about becoming somebody else. It's about becoming who we truly are, our true nature. And I believe that our true nature is love. And every single thing that's happening in the world today can take us to our nature if we allow. And how we allow? Serving. Serve others. Ease their pain. And do not pay too much attention to your drama. There's just so much going on right now. We need to make sure that children will have forests and water. We need to make sure that master animals will continue to walk on this earth, to fly over this land, to swim in oceans and rivers. We need to make sure that life goes on. It looks much bigger than concerns about myself. So I invite us here, invite all of us to contribute to this world, to ease somebody's pain, to help a cause, an organization, people. Just do something, because time has come. It's been difficult for everyone, and we can try just to ease our own pain, and still, I guess we will remain unhappy. But when we look at our own pain and say, okay, we need to solve this, and yes, it's a problem and it's a solution, but it doesn't need to be a drama. And we need to look at other beings' real problems, real afflictions, and ease them. Then I think we will find a happiness that only the ones serving. We are going to find, besides happiness, strength. We're going to find hope. We're going to find all of this. But we need to get out our selfishness. We need to get out our wrong ideas about being successful. We need to get out, to let go. Get out of these little places that we put ourselves, and let go these false ideas that do not help this world to be the world that we know it can be. So these are basically the updates that I wanted to give about what's going on with Master Calvis, about what's going on here at our sanctuary. And truth be said, it's not that we are just looking after them there and the ones that were here before. We continue to rescue. Last week we rescued a Master Calf, and he was, again, milk, the dairy industry. He didn't have any use for them, so he had so many wounds in his body, and these wounds ate his flesh to the point that his penis came out his body. He will need surgery. He's at the hospital right now, and we are praying that he recovers. Yesterday he needed a blood transfusion. I'm not sure if this is the word to say, so this is the way to say, but I think you'll get what I'm trying to say. And just yesterday evening arrived here a master horse that was living for 6 months inside a place without food. And then people were starting to look at him over and over again. People from the neighborhood started to give him some food, but he is very weak. He has, I'm not sure, the vet, our doctors will run some exams, then we can say for sure what he has. But what we can see is that he doesn't walk very well. He has some sort of complications trying to urinate as well. So sometimes we look at master horses and we say, I don't have anything to do with this because I don't ride master horses. I don't go to places or entertainment that have. Yes, we can talk about this. We can think that this is the case. But here, for instance, in Brazil, after they are used for sports and entertainment, they get killed. They get slaughtered as food. And Brazil exports this. So we really need to see all kinds of all kinds, meaning species, all species, and realize that humans have this wrong idea that we can dominate, that we can exploit and take advantage. So if you don't do, that's fine and excellent and awesome, but just spread the word, because they're not entertainment. They are strong, but they cannot carry any sort of weight, and they are not meant. It's not because you are strong that somebody is going to ask you to run with whatever on your back. It doesn't work like that. If they are strong, let them be strong for their lives and not to serve us. So it's very sad. I'm looking somebody commenting here. Yes, it's very sad. So this is it, I guess. Oh, I'll wait for your comments. If you have any questions, just send them to our team. We are always responding. We're always getting back to people who write to us. And I hope we can meet here at our sanctuary in the months to come. Probably, again, we're talking about May, opening the yoga course. And probably June or July, we are going to open the retreats for people all around the world. So we are welcome here. And I hope that regardless if you come to our sanctuary, you can still serve the same mission, because our mission is not our mission, okay, just ourselves, we are doing this. No, this mission is just like, it's an illusion if we think that something is just ours. When we are talking about love, goodness, justice, when we are talking about this sort of values, we are not talking about somebody's mission or somebody's purpose. We are talking about something that is universal. So no matter where you are, you can be part of this. If you're here with us, I just want you to feel embraced and welcome, and want to give you these choices or these options to meet and to be together at the feet of master animals. But if you're not here, still we are connected. We are connected by the same values. So when you feel a little bit sad, when you feel that I'm not strong anymore, I cannot, I just feel like giving up, just remember that like ourselves, there are many people in the world fighting. So stand firm. We need you. Thank you very much. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. See you soon. Thank you for listening.